This is the third lesson for the quiz Blastoff game. Now, we've already drawn our fire and we have our spaceship. And there's one thing I forgot to mention in the last lesson. We want the fire, what we're going to end up having it do is grow to the point where once the fire touches, just slightly touches the spaceship, we want the spaceship to blast off. Well, we want to make sure that for that to happen, the center of the fire is actually near the bottom of it. So in your editor, at the top right corner, you'll notice there's a plus sign over here. It's your crosshair, or your axes, you can call it too. So you click on that and you see it appears on the screen. If you click anywhere, the center will now change to that spot. So choose a spot that's near the bottom of your fire, and then choose one of the other tools so that you don't accidentally change the center somewhere else. Now we are going to write code to the spaceship so that it's set up at the beginning and tells instructions to the player about how to play the game. To do this, we first need to make our active object the spaceship. So click on the spaceship down at the bottom. And then over here, instead of looking at the costumes, click on scripts. Now, before we even write the script, we need to make sure our sprites are completely in place. So put the fire near the bottom, but not too far down, because when we ask for the answer to our questions, it's going to appear down here, and we want to make sure we can see the fire. And put the spaceship above it. But not too high up. It's got to be somewhere near the middle. Now, to start writing the code, go to Events and pull out a When Green Flag Clicked. The next thing we want to do is we want to make sure the spaceship shows, because when we finally blast off, the spaceship's going to go up to the top, and when it hits the edge, we're going to hide it. So we have to make sure that at the start it always shows. So click on Looks, and the fifth block down says Show. Pull that block out and place it right underneath When Green Flag Clicked. Next, go to Motion and grab the Go to XY block. This block already has the spaceship's position programmed into it. Notice that the position over here, -3 and 40 in the top right corner, is the same as the position in this block. We want to place this right after the Show block. This way, every time we hit the green flag, no matter where our spaceship is, it ends up right back in that position. The last thing we want to do is make our spaceship say the instructions. To make a sprite say something, you have to go to Looks. And the very first block here says Say Hello for 2 seconds. Pull out that block and place it right underneath the Go to XY block. Instead of saying hello, we want to tell the player what they have to do to beat the game. Answer the math questions to make the spaceship blast off. Depending on how many words you put in, you might want to change the amount of time that it shows for to give your players some time to read. So I'm going to change this from 2 seconds to 3 seconds. You can play around with that by hitting the green flag and then seeing how long it runs. You can also add more if you want to say a lot. You can have it say some in the first say block and then add more say blocks. And once you've done that, you can click the green flag and you can see that it will say what you wrote in those blocks for the amount of time that you wrote it for. That is all for lesson 3.